Hey breeders, it's Olivia here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to use the genetic forecast features in our Dog Breeder Pro web app. So I think it's important to mention that coat color genetics can be a really intimidating field for a lot of breeders, especially if you got into dog breeding because you just love dogs and love working with them. So for the purposes of this video, I'm not really going to be discussing genetics. I'll just be showing you how to use the tools that we provide you, but we are working on publishing a series of videos very soon that will go more into depth of code color genetics, basically explaining those concepts to you. So if you are watching this and those have been published, then they will be linked in the description or at the end of the video. Okay, so you are on your Dog Breeder Pro web app, and just like the other times, on the left hand side we're going to go to the relevant menu item, which in this case is genetic forecasts. So I'm going to click on that and you'll see this screen appear. These are labeled. On the left hand, we have the genetic details of the sire, and on the right hand, we have the genetic details of the dam. In the middle, we have our loci, and you can see here we have the agouti and the black loci because those are the mandatory ones. So there are two ways that you can add genetic information on this page. The one is by selecting a dog in your database, and the second is by manually inputting genes. I'm going to show you how to do both. So for selecting one from your database, you click on the select button, and it'll show, in this case, all the males in my database that have genetic information attached to them. So I can scroll through them and I can pick one, say Emperor, and you can see that it displays him over here. This is his genotype displayed over here. It gives me visible, carried, and hidden. You'll see that in the results as well. And it's taken all of the genes, all of these genes, and it's applied them here in the loci. It's also added the loci that weren't there, like the B, the D, and the E. So it's added those automatically. Okay, so that's how we select one from the database. However, you can also input the genes manually. If I go here, all I need to do is on each of these little boxes located next to the relevant locus, I can click on the chevron and I can select the genes that I want to pick, right? And what's really helpful here is that if you are rusty with your code color genetics, there are lots of pop-ups here that help explain things. If I hover on one of the loci, you'll see here that it gives me a description on the agouti locus, what it does, and a very brief description or descriptor of each individual pair. This is the same for all the others. Cool. The other thing that's worth mentioning is in the case of, let's say, the agouti locus here, although this applies to all of them, these pairs are displayed in order of hierarchy. So if you pick a pair, the first allele in that pair will be the dominant one, which is nice to remember. I find it very helpful. So if I pick AY, AW, or Sable, Agouti, whatever you want to call it, I know that the first one is going to be the more dominant one. Yeah, so I find that helpful. I hope someone else does too. This is a chow chow, so I'm going to build another chow chow on this side. So let me quickly do that by just selecting the genes that I want. Actually, I want it diluted. Yeah, okay, great. Okay, great. If I want to add a locus, I can click on this plus icon here and it'll show me all the different ones. And if I click on one, it'll just add it at the bottom for both. And you can leave it as unknown, and you can select an option. Okay, I think I'm ready. You'll see here that this one says manual because it's not a dog in my database. Let's click forecast offspring. And there we have our results. Okay, nice. So at the top here, we still have our sire and dam visible with their genotypes, some nice context for the results that we're getting. And over here we have code color and Punnett squares. So we're currently on code color, and there's visible and detailed. It's exactly what it looks and sounds like. Visible just refers to the visible phenotypes of the dog. So it will only show you dogs here that look different, and what percentage of the litter is likely to look like that. But if I go over to detailed, you'll see here that it gives me the genetic information, the genotypes of those different kinds of dogs. And what might happen here is that I might have 12% of my litter be dominant black and another 12% also be dominant black. So visually, they'd look the exact same. However, if I go to detailed, I would see two different black dogs with different genotypes, because the difference in those dogs would be the genes that they carry or that are hidden. Maybe I'll show you guys what that looks like. But for now, this is the detailed view of your results. And then you obviously have your Punnett squares. I'm going to assume that you guys already know what those are. And these are also accompanied with these little explanations, which can be very helpful. If you want to make changes to your input, you click on reset and it will take you back to the editing stage. You can't edit your input and see your results at the same time to avoid confusion. So you will have to click forecast offspring at the end of editing to see your results. And if you want to edit, you have to click reset like I showed you. Okay, so let's make a change. There. I think that's all I'm going to do. Okay, let's try again. Forecast offspring. Okay, so here we still have these four different options. But if I click here on detailed, you'll see exactly what I was talking about earlier. We have two dogs that seemingly look, excuse me. Sorry, I'm very sneezy. Okay, so this is what I was talking about earlier, where two dogs might look the same. And so if I go to visible, I'll only see four options. But if I go to detailed, I'll see more options, because even though these two groups of dogs are both black, they have different carried genes or hidden genes. Their genetic information is different. Okay, cool. So I hope that is helpful. The only other thing that I need to show you is that there is this button that does exactly what you think it does. It compiles a PDF for you to print. It's literally these exact same results, but just in PDF format that you can download and that you can print if that is something that you want to do. Okay, so that is how you use the genetic forecast feature in our web app. I hope it makes sense. Thank you for watching. Good luck. Bye.